And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final day of the Kickoff Clash here in the APAC region. I'm Achilleos, joined as always by Avril, and we'll be guiding you through what is sure to be an action-packed day. Starting things off, we've got the lower bracket final between the Shanghai Dragons and the Seoul Dynasty. It was a banger of a series last time, sure to be one again. The winner of that will move on to play against the Philadelphia Fusion in a best-of-7 to be crowned the Kickoff Clash champion.
It's finals time, baby. Last day of the Kickoff Clash here in the East, Achilleos, and my goodness, saved the best couple of games for last. We already said goodbye to the Hangzhou Spark yesterday in the losers bracket. And now, like you mentioned, Seoul Dynasty versus Shanghai Dragons, the legendary rematch. Third time they'll be playing against each other in this Kickoff Clash so far, between the qualifier, twice now in the Kickoff Clash Tournament itself, and the one of them facing the Fusion, where I mean, it'll be another legendary match no matter which way you put it. We'll get the Spaghetti Bowl, the classic Fusion versus Seoul Dynasty, or it'll be the chance for Shanghai to get the revenge on Fusion finally after dropping 0-6 to them over two separate matches so far this stage.
Yeah, and I believe if you look at the total, Fusion are on an 8-map winning streak over the Shanghai Dragons, I believe. Something like that. It's,
I mean,
pretty good
It's
overall.
at least 6 from this year, and then, you know, possibly even more from last year, but I mean, it's certainly been the kryptonite of the Shanghai Dragons, and what a beautiful win yesterday, 3-0. Looked dominating. Shanghai looked a little bit lost. They need to find their composure today versus Seoul, but it will not be an easy game because Seoul themselves dispatched of Hangzhou 3-0 as well, right? So we had a whole day of only 3-0s yesterday. Seoul looked ready. They looked a lot more ready versus Dragons than they did versus the Spark, but now that they're back against the Dragons, it's the old nemesis, right? It's that rivalry. It's this 20-match-long all-time record, 12-8 in favor of the Dragons, that Seoul would finally like to break coming into this match.
And the pressure has been mounting against them each and every step of the way. That loss streak to the Dragons just growing and growing. The pressure becoming immeasurable on these players to finally break free of their shackles and defeat the Dragons at long last. It has been a very long time coming, but the question is today the day? Can we see the Dynasty buckle down, be clutch enough to out-clutch the Dragons, who, against every team other than the Fusion, have looked incredibly good. They have been able to go down to the wire. You know, that 0.05 meter save on Eichenwalde coming back to haunt the Dynasty, etc. They have repeatedly done this, except against the Fusion. And then if the Dragons do win it, the question then becomes, can they get their stuff together well enough to actually take down the Fusion? Because they have not looked good against that team. The Fusion have just been dismantling them at every twist and turn. We saw a very off-looking Shanghai Dragons really trying to force the Rhine comps on Lijiang Tower yesterday on all 3 submaps. I'm thinking that things are going to be a little bit more tightened up today. Something tells me that Moon sat everybody down, gave them a stern talking to, said, okay, this plan isn't going to work. We're going back to this, or we're going to do this instead. And we'll see if those adjustments work for them, if they can get through the Dynasty yet again.
Yeah, it's the sort of match streak that we're talking about here, where the Seoul Dynasty have not defeated the Shanghai Dragons since the 2020 playoffs, all the way back, you know, a couple seasons back now, and that's been 6 matches in a row. So that was the last win. Since then, they played 6 times in the Overwatch League, twice outside the Overwatch League as well. But we won't count those results today. But the 6 within the Overwatch League have all been wins for the Shanghai Dragons. If you're curious, the other 2 were from the NetEase tournament that Shanghai Dragons hosted as well. It was actually 1-1, so they both won and lost against each other there. It cancels each other out, but within the Overwatch League, a 6-match win streak for the Shanghai Dragons, and Seoul yet to defeat their old nemesis that they so handily did back in 2020 that allowed the Seoul Dynasty to get into that grand finals versus the San Francisco Shock, and denied the Shanghai Dragons of their own finals all the way back then.
Yeah, and who knows what would have happened. I mean, Shock in that time, obviously in great form, but it's always that what-if conundrum, wondering, you know, what could have happened if the Dragons actually had made that grand final. But we're not here to rewrite history. We're here to look forward to the future and look forward to what the starting 5 is going to be from the side of the Seoul Dynasty. We'll take a quick little peek, but something tells me, as per usual, there are going to be no surprises here. This is where the consistency has been found for the side of the Seoul Dynasty. Generally speaking, not necessarily against the Shanghai Dragons, but yes, Profit Bits, Smurf Creative, and Vindheim going to be coming through.
Same 5 you'll be seeing for probably the entire tournament at this stage. I mean, that's what we've been seeing the entire way through. They found pretty decent success there, even a close 2-3 loss versus the Dragons in, I would say that at that time, their best form so far that they've shown so far in 2022. But Seoul, they know what their target is, right? It's a finals appearance for them. They have not won a tournament, a title, anything in the Overwatch League and the entire Seoul Dynasty franchise history. This would be a monumentous win for them to get to the finals, where versus the Fusion, both teams, both franchises winless as far as titles goes. Somebody would have to take it, or Shanghai would spoil it all, go to the finals themselves, claim the crown, and defeat the Fusion to reclaim their title rights. So a lot to play for tonight, so much at stake.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, not being able to achieve any titles, any championship wins, let alone an entire Overwatch League championship win there. They do have champions on this roster for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, as well as their coach, Coach Toby, coming through. Lunatic High, multiple-time champion over in Apex. He knows what it feels like to win everything, and I'm sure he is hungry to experience that feeling once more. Their opponents, though, their thorn in their side for time eternal, it would seem, are the Shanghai Dragons. And once again, no real shocks. Who Are You has been getting the lion's share of playtime in the DPS role over Fleta. We do see Fleta come through for the push maps from time to time, pick up the Reaper Man, etc., etc. But you're talking about, knowing their target, knowing what they need to do coming into this. The Dynasty, I think the primary target is going to be Lip there on the left-hand side of your screen. That's where we've been seeing the most successes when teams can regularly shut down Lip.
Easier said than done for sure. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times.
Yes.
I mean, we go back to Dorado in that upper bracket match as well between Dynasty and Dragons on the first day, right? That 3-2 victory. That was not a very good map from the Dragons, and Lip was handedly shut down. Fitz was looking decent in that matchup, but more so, you have had the Dragons get the better of Seoul, especially the Lip versus Fitz kind of duel here. Now, we know Prophet is insane. We know Who Are You can definitely match and actually play over Prophet. And as far as the Genji goes, Who Are You, you'd even favor in that matchup. But Prophet's Tracer has been the signature so far for Seoul. It's that Smurf Winston Prophet Tracer dive that almost every team except for Shanghai has fallen prey to.
You see some pats on the back there for Vintame, but no massage for Creative, so that's maybe an ill omen for the side of the Dynasty, but maybe he got it before we had the players up on cam. Who knows? Just need to know that these players have to be ready. They have to be focused in. So yeah, I mean, if you got to massage that man's shoulders again, you very well do it if you are working for the Dynasty, because you want to see success, and Creative has been quite instrumental in the successes that they have had. Does have his work cut out from him. Izayaki, of course, going over on the Ana, mirror matchup in that regard, has been utterly incredible for the majority of times here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Has only really looked lackluster when they're playing against the Fusion. That's when he has been falling shy of the mark just a bit, and it just seems like the Fusion have their number. But we'll see how these guys square off today, and whether or not a curse, a veil, will be lifted off the heads of the Seoul Dynasty, or if there will be more weight applied to it.
Standard, first to 3, best of 5 here. You'll be very interested to know what our opening map is as well, because we've been here so many times between these two teams. Feels like we get a lot of runbacks between these two squads as far as how our map series go. They've always been competitive. It's Oasis again, Achilles. Third time for this matchup between Shanghai and Seoul so far this year. Seoul won the first time. Then we got to our upper bracket game in the actual tournament itself. Shanghai takes out 2-0. Now, our third time going back. Shanghai even choosing this map against the Seoul Dynasty. To be fair, they also did choose it against Seoul Dynasty in our original upper bracket game. But now both teams fighting for survival. It is do or die. Top 3 has been secured, but I know neither team is satisfied with number 3. They want number 1.
I mean, it's number 1 or bust, pretty much. Even you get to that second place spot, you're not going to be walking away very happy. We'll see what these guys have ready for us. Right now, hovering on the Pharah, we have seen a fair bit of Pharah on Oasis, but something tells me that it's definitely not in Fitz's wheelhouse compared to Prophet. But you never know. The man's pretty darn gifted, so maybe he could bust it out. But not
again, by the
today.
Way. We started on Gardens last time. That was actually a Shanghai win. Obviously, Shanghai went 2-0. It was Who Are You versus Prophet. We had Soldier. We had Genji. It's a complete mirror matchup. It is exactly the same game again, but will it be the same result?
Well, for now, the contestant on the high ground has begun. Vintame falling low for just a bit there. Fate going to be antied out. Fire coming through. They get the sleep dart onto him. Vintame able to move forward. Gets that melee hit. for the execution. They take down the Winston, they take down the Genjin, they only lose Fitz 4. That being said, Smurf playing a very dangerous game as he often is. Falls down to 45, but will get top back up. Should be the Dynasty grabbing first control of the point, and they do. Look at Lip's ult charge.
Trades coming through from
Look
the
at Lip's ult
Dynasty
charge.
there. I mean, that's the thing, right? Lip actually did kill Fitz, and he's got the extra ult charge because of it. He survives, does the extra damage. He's been definitely the highest damage dealing player on the server so far. Didn't go down in the last fight. Only Huayu and Fade actually went down. 16% and counting, but it's Lip coming up to Visor so fast in the next fight.
Then he is. They need to try to pick him off, allow for Fitz to catch back up. Another anti out onto Fate. As Prophet plays up into their faces, trying to get a little bit more damage in, but won't be able to get the kill there on the enemy Scientist. Lee Jae-gon looking to displace off that high ground. Goes up for a boot, drops back down, playing it out safe.
There it is.
Lip now with a visor at the ready. He's going to go ahead and pop that one, but Fate is going to be the first one to fall. Turns his sights over towards Prophet. Will manage to find that elimination, but it's the only one he's going to get. Creative is there, shuts him down. Bionade out on the 2. Who are you dashing in? Will find Fitz. The skirmish, it's nearly there for the side of the Dragons, but it's not enough to get this flip, so they have to pull back and reset.
And the Dynasty have 3 ultimates available anyway, so if Dragons wanted to push on in, that would have been Primal, double support ultimates. Possibly they could have forced it, but they're going to regroup and fight again another day. Smurf takes you down, and already not looking great for the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much again, you're going to have to just wait for him. Another anti goes out, connects on the 2. Nano going to be used onto Fate. He leaps in. He's looking to zap down Creative, who's falling lower and lower. Then he decides not to use the beat. Blade now going to be coming through from Prophet. The beat is there from Lee Jae-gon. The Blade's not going to find a damn thing. Who are you? Takes Prophet out of the fight, and that is going to be the opener here. The side of the Shanghai Dragons to finally grab the point. Looking for the boop off the center of the map. Unable to find it. Seems like Vidheim is going to be just fine to ride the walls as Fitz tries to make his way out to safety. Now Fate may have overstepped, but being said, Who Are You comes from behind, manages to get the kill on the Fitz. They will keep Fate alive, and now the Dragons can take the point.
2 long-range laser kills there on the right click, and it'll be all the Dragons to claim this point now finally. 95% for the Seoul Dynasty, though that is quite a considerable lead. We traded pretty much every single ultimate on board there. Who Are You with the only ultimate now available in the following fights? It needs to be a lot of snowball potential for the Shanghai Dragons to pull us through to their own 99 overtime. The Seoul Dynasty can just kind of wait this one out, force the Blade out this fight. They can sacrifice, build up ultimates, find that big ultimate fight where Who Are You doesn't have a Blade, get the one and done.
Under a little bit of fire, but Smurf under a hell of a lot of it ends up going down. Good contest here on the high ground. Who Are You predicting Prophet's movements? Nearly gets that elimination. Now Fate way too far forward. Ends up going down. We'll find Fate for their troubles, but that does not get them any closer to taking the point here for the side of the Seoul Dynasty. Have to wait for the Soldier to rejoin.
Won't take too long there as well. Fitz will be able to run back, even gets a bit of extra boost coming through from Vidheim. And by the time Fate rejoins, he actually is going to end up meeting Smurf in the middle there. Shanghai have 50% plus now, still waiting for Seoul Dynasty to make their moves, and as we wait, more and more ultimates come online for the Dragons.
Smurf taken down. Big ante goes out into 4, but no one really capitalizing. That being said, Fate is disconnected from the rest of the squad and does end up dying. Visor now used by Lip here on the high ground, just zoning people back, buying some more time as they get up to 70%. Fate now respawning, the Primal Rage nearly online for him to buy some extra time here on the point. Try to maybe send some people sailing off the side of the map. The flip actually just going to be allowed here. That's going to be the Dynasty in control. Blade into the back, though. Who Are You? Creative was left completely on his own. Ends up falling. Dash up onto the high ground. Fitz now dropping down to the bubbles. Going to be falling lower and lower. And Who Are You is good with the shurikens. Manages to find the left-click elimination. Smurf way too low. Nowhere close to that Primal Rage in time. Ends up falling. And Shanghai Dragons will go ahead and reclaim the point.
But it's not over yet. In any other circumstance, Dragons would have taken our first round and we'd be on our way to sub-map number 2 for Oasis. But however, because Seoul Dynasty actually get that recap in the middle, they saw the cap at 75% for Dragons. That buys Seoul another fight, crucially, when Seoul are about to get 5 ultimates. This one can definitely still be a Seoul win. They need to capitalize now.
Key for Overwatch here going to be Lee Jae-gon with that sound barrier. When does he decide to use it? Fitz now using the tack. Visor has the nano boost rolling on him for a little bit longer. Finds Lee Jae-gon. That's going to be the beat. Taken out of the fight. Fate going to be taking a nap now for the rest of the Primal Rage. Blade in the back from Prophet. Finds Izayaki. The supports are eliminated. Seoul Dynasty have reclaimed control of the point. No one is touching it finally. Will manage to get back in for a tag, but Fate has fallen. Lee Jae-gon respawned, but cannot make it in time. And just like that, the Dynasty once more will take the point away. 100 to 99%. Narrow margins between the two teams as per usual, but they will get guarded.
And that's a huge death on Lee Jae-gon as well. That removes the beat, like you said. The sound barrier difference could have been the difference for the Shanghai Dragons to hold on. Seoul Dynasty coming up to 5 ultimates, crucially, including a sound barrier for Vindame that they didn't even end up using, just the celebratory sound barrier towards the end there, after they'd already won the fight. So 4 ultimates ends up being enough. No counters for the Dragons, and it's lights out, and bit of a unfortunate one for Lee Jae-gon as well, because that was his first death. That one death right at the end was the only death he had on the entire Garden submap.
Well, it mattered the most, unfortunately, for him. I think you can kind of see the restraint here with Lee Jae-gon. He was using a lot of aggressive beats to try to open up fights. Seems like he wanted to move away from that playstyle, play defensively, but there's so much pressure applied to him, so he wasn't really able to ever get that defensive beat off. Fate now will be taken quite low, and yeah, there's the pick. Prophet having swapped over to the Tracer. He's going to be feeling mighty comfortable, as Who Are You has not been able to really compete too much when they have been in the head-to-head here in the Tracer battle.
It's the early damage output from Seoul as well. I believe a Bionade also hit onto the Dragons that allows the Seoul Dynasty to get early control on the high ground of the jump pad. He tries to contest, but is unable to up against the entirety of the Seoul Dynasty. So we're going to flip the points over, we're going to flip the sides over. Dragons will be playing co-side. Seoul Dynasty, Fitz is in prime position. I believe he is still, no, not quite on the high ground, but he's hanging around.
Fate again getting beaten and battered, taken low. Looking for the chase here onto him, but Vindame gonna be hitting the floors. Nice sleep dart there from Izayaki. Sets up for the kill from Lip. Fitz, however, does find the main tank in the meantime. Now the anti out, and Fitz answers back in kind with the Helix Rockets, eliminating Lip, and that is going to be the Dynasty maintaining control of this point, at least for a little while longer. The support's now out of the fight. Who Are You's only able to find one, and Fitz has just shown off some nice accuracy, currently excelling. As you can see, he's 39% ahead of Lip.
Yeah. And that's, you know, the early skirmish win over towards the jump pad, then the overall fight win coming through from Seoul Dynasty as well. Lip falling at the end of that last fight will now give Fitz the opportunity to have the Visor battle in his favor instead of the other way around as it was in our previous submap, our previous round of Gardens there. So 50% and counting now for the Seoul Dynasty. Great lead. A stick as well. That should be a kill, it is.
Yep, no way to save him. You can see the supports. They're playing over here street side. They didn't have line of sight to try to get any healing down on him. He doesn't have the primal. He's still so far away from it at just 66%. Fate not really getting the opportunity to play any Overwatch right now. They're just cutting him down every time he pokes his head out towards the point, and the Dynasty are now looking at potentially 100% cap.
Oh, they certainly have the ultimates to play through him, and we're still waiting for the Visor to come through from Lip. It's not that far off now. Nano to be put into that as well, but it'll be Nano Visor versus Nano Visor, and Fate is still behind Smurf, so everything on track for the Seoul Dynasty. They have the cap, they're nearly on 99, and they still have 4 ultimates about to come online.
Who Are You being pressured out, still holds on to the recall, doesn't want to pop it here, wants to have it as an escape tactic once he goes for the pulse bomb. Dashing in, there's the stick, there's going to be a 2-for-1 special. Vindame dove in on top of that. I thought maybe Fitz was going to get caught up in the blast, but no, it's going to be the enemy Lucio, and Lip is going to be good for the rest. 100-0, not to be. The Shanghai Dragons will get the flip.
What an insane stick, and we were just talking about Prophet. He is the Tracer player in this matchup. He has been dominating over Who Are You in previous performances as far as Tracer head-to-head goes. Major sticks from Prophet in the past, but today on this particular map, Who Are You gets the 2 that they most needed at the time, both Creative and Vindame. Creative pops down the Nano as he goes down, but it's not enough because the rest of the Shanghai Dragons are still up, and they have the Nano Visor to clean things through. So, potential comeback moment now for the Shanghai Dragons. Still have 2 ultimates to play through. They will be matched by Seoul in just a minute.
Prophet making his exit, not wanting to get slept there. Lip throwing down the biofield. Keep himself topped up, get towards that ulti a little bit faster. The chase now coming in. Prophet running out of blanks, so tries to go top of him. It's going to be a kill for a kill. The Helix Rockets from beyond the grave will get the elimination there, a 1-for-1. Beat was used by Lee Jae-gon off screen. Now Vindame going to be having his in just a couple percentage. Halfway now to the cap as Smurf goes diving into the back lines. He's looking for Lee Jae-gon. He's not been able to finish him off yet. Beat going to be dropped here. Vindame trying to keep everybody topped up, but widely the fight, it's just been separated. The Shanghai Dragons go their separate ways. They wait out the shielding. Now they look to re-aggress. Who Are You nearly with another pulse bomb? Prophet holding on to one of his own. Fitz going to be the first one to get taken down. Creative now joining them in the graves as Vindame managed to answer at least one back. Prophet dashing forward, wants a better target, doesn't want the Winston. He wants to get rid of somebody that he knows will be blown to smithereens, but now Smurf is gone, and he's just going to have to hold the pulse bomb for the next fight, and they are running out of time.
Absolutely. I mean, Prophet, you don't really want to pulse there unless you can get a double kill onto both supports. I mean, that's what Who Are You did, but how often can you actually do that? He only realistically had sights on Fate and Lip. Lip is really fast, and well, Fate was really high HP as well. A lot of members on Seoul Dynasty down in that particular fight. Just want to wait till the double 99s here into the OT. We go. Seoul Dynasty have one fight that can take the map. Shanghai Dragons will be taking us to a decider. Both teams have the pulse bomb, and both the visors are coming up.
Okay, this time Who Are You not going to be finding nearly as much value. The pulse bomb goes a bit wide, and that's why you try not to target those Soldier 76s, because it can be elusive and Lip. Now finds Prophet, trying to be sneaky around the backside. The Helix Rocket follow-up, as soon as he gets it off cooldown, he sends him towards somebody else. Cuts down both the DPS members on the side of the Seoul Dynasty. Smurf anti out, tries to rotate around the backside towards jump pad, cannot manage to make it happen. The sleep will interrupt for a moment as Creative tucks into the corner, manages to stay alive for a little bit longer, but no one can make it to the point. And in a follow-up 100% to 99 round, it will be the Shanghai Dragons getting the victory, taking us now to University to decide it all on Oasis.
And I mean, goodness, look at Lip towards the end there as well. He actually dies, but still managed to come back in time. Shanghai Dragons stole it for long enough on a previous death as well. He trades himself for Prophet, so it ends up being a 1-to-1. I mean, that's exactly what we need to be doing. You should be dead there. It should be a 0-for-1 trade. Prophet should be coming out alive. Seoul 5v4, they have that cleanly. They only needed the one fight, but that last one fight was so difficult for the Seoul Dynasty. Indeed, too difficult for them to be able to come over. So I have to take this to a decider now. If you remember, if your memory is good, this is where Lip had that 4K miracle moment as well. He got slept but bubbled by Fate in the corner, didn't die, and won the whole damn thing for the Shanghai Dragons. And things are heating up for sure now. Fitz coming through on towards a Hanzo. Might be going back for a soldier change. Yeah, looking like it was just
gonna go ahead and
potential scouting or maybe a loose arrow to find a headshot, but not going to be the case. It does actually give Dragons opening control of the high ground.
That it does. High ground and the point, as well as Lip just getting a little bit more of a lead towards those attack visors. We've seen how quickly he can build that up. Fitz now looking to make up for some lost time, though, starts pumping out damage. Smurf sitting inside the bubble, going to be antied up for the moment to take it down to about half HP, but it's going to be Fate who actually falls. Overstepping just a bit there, and yeah, the punish is looking great. Vinheim almost eliminated, but again, looks like right when Seoul Dynasty are going to lose a member, they managed to pick up somebody else. Lee Jae-gon going to be taken out of the fight just like that. Dynasty will once again establish control of the point first and foremost.
You can just see that Seoul Dynasty, I mean, a great punish to Fate where he oversteps. Fate was trying to dive deep inside the back of the point, and with Lip coming down, there's just simply no way. Prophet with a deep flick comes to Izayaki as well. This is Dragons almost tearing themselves up. They're looking for Trace, they're looking for something, but damn near 6 or 7 of them have died at this stage with no return kill. Seoul Dynasty are deathless in this first opening fight.
It's absolutely gorgeous from it. I mean, you look at the ult charge, yeah, Lip still maintaining a bit of a lead, but you can see Vinheim nearly with the barrier up. Lee Jae-gon not even halfway there. Prophet a full 26% ahead of Who Are You for the Dragon Blade. This is phenomenal.
There's Nano
for the side of the Dynasty, but yeah, the Nano visor is available for the Dragons.
That could be the difference maker here for sure. Vinheim can counter it with that sound barrier, but we have another Seoul Dynasty lead. I feel like it's been 3 Seoul Dynasty leads in a row. It's always about the 50% lead as well. Bionade slows things down, but now the bio has dissipated, it should be Dragon's time to go.
Okay, it's going to be the Nano visor. Fitz responding in kind. He gets the sound barrier shielding out from Vinheim, and that keeps him alive. Sliver of HP still on the floor. Fate will finally jump forward to get the elimination, but it does not matter. They managed to clean up the rest of the squad here. Now Fate, up to his own devices, just sitting around, doesn't want to pop the primal here, knows that the fight is over. Gets a couple of kills there to build up for his own ultimate, but it's the Dragons, or the Dynasty rather, who maintain control of this point and are now getting it to crest past 75%.
And it's a sound barrier difference, right? Vinheim had it, Lee Jae-gon didn't. Dragons lost the first fight. Snowballing the favor of the Seoul Dynasty.
Prophet.
Really, the only thing that Dynasty had was barely a visor, plus a Nano. Prophet, like you said, on the back as well. Here comes a lurk, straight into the blade. Brilliant
dive over the top as well. It's perfectly coordinated here with Smurf. Chases in, Prophet cuts them down.
That's it.
That is the team kill, and yeah, 95% continuing to tick up. They try to swap, but it's to no avail. No one will get there in time. Absolutely beautifully done by the Dynasty. They make the call to strike, they play it to perfection, and they get a perfect score to round out Oasis 100% to 0 here in the last round on University.
It really just gives me shades of the original Oasis that we played all the way in Week 4. First game as well, well rather last game of the final day of Week 4 there, Seoul versus Shanghai. Oasis went the way of the Seoul Dynasty, and just, brilliant snowballing from the get-go. From second number 1, Fate oversteps. Lip cannot help because he's only on the high ground, and Fate hides up. If Fate gets too deep into Seoul Dynasty territory, no one can help him, and so he goes down, and the rest is history from there. Seoul Dynasty get their 50% lead, and Nanovisor plus a sound barrier, then an amazing lurk into dive play combined with Prophet and Smurf working together. Exactly what you want to see. It's that diving combo of Prophet and Smurf that is so indomitable.
Just beautifully done there. Prophet really just trying to remind everybody, and maybe even Who Are You in particular, why he is considered the greatest of all time. Doesn't matter what he's playing. Doesn't matter if Who Are You is one of the best Genjis that we have ever seen in competitive Overwatch. Prophet is here to play, and he absolutely showed up on the Genji there. We'll see what the map selection is going to look like for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. They had a rough go of it yesterday versus Fusion. We'll see if they decide to change up their picks or if they go back to similar things as we get ready to move into Hybrid for map number 2. Already, though, off the rip, this is an absolutely fantastic series, and I'm hoping that the action keeps playing up to this level. Don't go anywhere, guys. Map 2 is coming up in just a few. And welcome back, guys. Map 1 out of the way, and oh boy, what a series this is already turning into. A 1-0 start for the side of the Dynasty, but they had to work for it on Oasis. They take it 2-1, very clean in the end, but extremely back and forth in those first 2 rounds. Shanghai Dragons, though, just not able to find any purchase on University, end up dropping the map. Now they have their map pick as we get ready to go into Hybrid. And by the look of things, Avril, they have selected to go to King's Row, so they're changing it up compared to yesterday.
And this is, I think, Dragons maybe taking a bit of a page out of North America as well. Something I noticed yesterday when we go back to examine their match versus the Fusion. You remember they brought the triple Reinhardt play on the Lijiang Tower. Turns out Gladiators actually brought that out just several hours earlier, right in their particular matchup. So versus the Dallas Field that they used to beat them. And now we're going towards King's Row. You have, as you mentioned, Void coming in with Flatus, so it's going to be Zarya Reaper. This will be Dragons taking a look. Okay, Dallas is succeeding a lot with their Zarya plays. We can go to King's Row, replicate that kind of success, pull Smurf into either a Zarya battle or put him still on the Winston and maybe force a bad matchup by now having Flitter on the Reaper. That'll put a lot more pressure onto Smurf. Smurf now has to respond. Does he go towards the Rhine? Is the Seoul Dynasty prepared for the Rhine, or will they get just... I don't know if I want to say baited into the Zarya mirror, but certainly I think Void would want that. Void would love it if Smurf would try and mirror him on the Zarya.
Void in, Fleta in, faces that we haven't seen a ton of as of late, but we are, of course, more than familiar with. We'll see how they fare now, because it's a pretty big ask for them to come in after what we saw in that last round of Oasis and try to right the ship for the old Dragon squad. They're going to be first on the defense, and I mean, Lip is just gonna, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, he's gonna go back, or he's just gonna die, and then he'll swap.
Fire, you know, scouting fire, just, you know, just in the sky. It's like, yep, they're running normal things. There's an Anna, there's a Lucio, standard stuff here. But what we are seeing is, again, you know, this isn't sort of the other Apex style that we've seen, where on King's Road defensive teams have liked to try the Ashe. Lip, despite being a fantastic Ashe play, he's like, the Soldier's just too consistent. The Soldier is the answer here. They're even kind of hiding at first, not really revealing position. They don't want to get sniped out the door in case Fitz is going to be doing those opening door snipes, but not going to be the case. And as I mentioned as well, is it going to be the Smurf Zarya? Indeed it is, and I think Void, this is what he's looking for.
Okay. Prophet just TPing it. A couple people up here to the high ground at Theater. Swaps back over to the Genji. It's been looking great so far today, so why change it up? Tracer as well has been looking phenomenal. Fleta out the gate, though, with the Reaper once more, as we have come to anticipate. We get to see Fleta a little bit sooner, and that's always fun. But Lijiang on, he's going to die. That's not fun if you're a Dragons fan.
No, it certainly isn't, because that's going to be most of the healing out now, and Dragons, are they just going to have to pull back here, give away your tick or two, wait for the Lijiang on respawn? He's back now.
Okay, Lip finds one, though, trading in kind. This time getting rid of Prophet. Now Vindheim going to be falling. Fleta, DPS duo here on the side of the Dragons, finding some nice little value to give up 1.5 ticks. But we'll get Fitz here on the back end as well for some additional stagger.
Is that a Dragons 4v5 I see over there? Because remember, Lijiang on respawn, but he wasn't really part of that fight. Lip just gets a fadeaway kill, and Fleta finds one as well. That suddenly pushes Seoul Dynasty back. I mean, that was Dragons down on members. They had even started giving up space, but still doing the damage, winning the fights. Lip with 2 final blows so far to lead things out.
Cut back away as Prophet tries to get in on top of him. The biofield's going to help keep him topped up. Good little Helix Rocket into the corner of the wall so that the deflection cannot come through. It's a nice little prediction there from the side of Lip. Put some damage on the Prophet. Doesn't get the elimination, though. He himself has fallen low. Now, inching forward onto the point. Void going to be there for the contest. Just trying to keep that energy up. Keep Smurf at an arm's length. And Void will find another kill out as Fitz is going to be taken down. That's going to get him closer and closer to the Graviton Surge. He falls a little bit low, runs out of bubbles, has to pull back. The healing going to start coming through, but now the grab is ready to rock. Smurf has his to respond with, should he find a moment of opportunity to utilize it. But for now, looks like it's just going to be slow going here for the side of the Dynasty.
Never mind, Prophet's going to dive in. Down. Yep, they're all gone.
Comes in with another one. Fleta gone. Lijiang out of the fight. Blade, Nano, fight, victory here as the deflection going to be used, and he'll finish Lip there. A little bit of a melee hit and some shurikens. Team kill comes through. It's going to be 4 minutes and 15 seconds now in the time bank.
I mean, just the kill onto Iziaki is enough there from Prophet. You actually see Shanghai Dragons backing up, by the way. They had gotten the kill onto Fitz, but Void, he was half HP, so Dragons, instead of trying to push for more space, maybe punish another member, get some extra damage in, they pull back spacing, allow the Seoul Dynasty walk on up. Fitz respawns, And in that same dime, Creative goes for the nano onto Prophet. He dives in with that blade, and it is enough. Shanghai Dragons do not have the sound barrier. They did not have the sleep dart, either connecting onto Prophet to stop him. So they have to cop that out. Double supports down into the streets phase already. A lot of ultimates online for the Shanghai Dragons, but Seoul Dynasty are not liking themselves either.
Not at all. Lip just sitting here on the high ground, firing away, looking for some targets. Sees Fitz over on the flank. That's going to be the beats coming through from either side. Grab as well. Locking Void and Fleta together, but they're not going to be able to find any eliminations off the back of that. Void, in fact, will break free the Crab. Comes up with the kill onto Smurf. Anti out onto 3. Fleta looking like he maybe would want to go in for a Death Blossom, but especially now he's going to think better of it. Pulls back around the corner, and that's Arch control here for the side of the Dragons.
That could have been so much deadlier if Fleta was not slept. He would have run through. He was looking for the Nano Death Blossom there for sure. And the Seoul Dynasty would have lost a lot more members, a lot longer of a stagger and a reset. But they'll get mostly everyone out alive at the cost of Smurf going down. Still double DPS ultimates available for the side of Shanghai Dragons. And if you are Seoul Dynasty, you can just wait for Prophet to get this blade, play the Nano Blade again. There's still not going to be a sound barrier because it was used to counter the grab last time. Fitz is going to go in first.
Yeah, there's the Nano. He pops the visor and immediately is going to be slept as Karita finds a kill. Is Iyaki going to find one as well? But it's on the Vinheim, so crucially, the lion's share of the healing going to be taken away from the Dynasty as they continue to try to break through this archway and get onto the cart. Dive into the back line, Prophet popping the deflect. Has to move away, break line of sight away from Lips. The Blade still manages to find an elimination as Void is going to be taken down, so overall, not too bad. You take your DPS getting an elimination over them not, so Lip is just going to have to hang back, tail between his legs as he exits back over towards point C.
I mean, it looked like a zero value Nano there, or rather a Blade there. A lot of ultimates coming on through, especially the Visor. The Visor was just to kind of zone away the Blade, but still because Prophet actually gets the kill to Void, still comes up positive for the Seoul Dynasty, and now they're going to be pushing the B capture point nearly to completion here. Final contest coming on through from the Dragons, 2.05 meters remaining.
They do have some nice little win conditions here due to the Dragons. That grab, that Blossom still sitting in their back pocket.
Here we go.
Nano going to be using it to sleep on the Smurf. He's going to wake up, pops the bubbles onto himself, now runs out of them, and he's got no way to escape. But just hounding him down. Death Blossom be damned, he doesn't need it. Still comes up with 2 kills. His Lip got another. He's going to be looking for a third. Creative trying to fight back, but there's just no hope. So inevitably we'll stand still and say, yeah, go ahead. I need to reset a little bit faster.
You can just see the respect coming through as well because Dynasty are expecting the Death Blossom, but as long as Fleta actually holds it, he can just run up, use the Nano. It's plenty of damage. Smurf has to run himself. Can't quite fight against it. The rest of Seoul Dynasty don't have ultimates. They can't stop him. They can't sleep him because he's also been bubbled. So the Shanghai Dragons, once again, holding the Blossom, and they can use it to win the next fight. There's only about a minute left to go, and you can also Bionade your own friendly Blossom, and the Death Blossom lifesteal with your friendly Bionade is actually enough to keep the Reaper alive as well. So that combo is also still pretty strong.
Fair to point out, Jagon getting closer to the beat. Vinheim, a 10% behind him, needs to try to catch up here because it's going to be monumental for them to try to survive this play. Grab going to be coming down. Void going to be the first one to fall. He throws his own grab, locks in Smurf, but the Nano is there to keep him sustained. Now he sets its sights on Fleta, who is rapidly pulling back away, and that should be good enough to go ahead and get the cap onto point B. A minute and a half going to be added to the time bank as Izayaki is the last one to fall in the fight. Just shy of 2 minutes now here for the side of the Dynasty to try to complete King's Row.
I mean, that's just out-tempo coming through from Seoul, right? They pull the trigger early. Shanghai Dragons perpetually waiting for Fleta. I believe Fleta was above, but he just didn't really come down for a play. Maybe he was waiting for the team to call for him. Maybe he was waiting for positioning from the Seoul Dynasty. But as Seoul Dynasty go towards the cap, Shanghai Dragons needed to intercept it with that Death Blossom. They have a kill now. Opportunity for Dragons to walk forward.
Yep, a huge one. There's the TP up from Fleta. Shoving them back again. Doesn't need to use the ultimate. Just buys some space off the kill of Prophet. And now they can go ahead and establish this corner control and try and deny the Dynasty from even getting to the card. Easier
They need
said
to be
than done,
threatening this. They need to be threatening this Blossom. Okay, and Fleta can't sit up on the high ground. Prophet will spot him out, so it's very difficult for Fleta to get on in because otherwise
Void?
he basically has to TP in, receive a bubble. The bubbles are not there. Fitz goes early.
Void.
Fleta's down.
Yeah, the beat is not there in time. Jagon cannot try to keep him in the fight. Ends up falling. Now it's going to be an Anna on the lip. He pops a visor of his own. Prophet with the blade drawn out will find Izayaki, but ends up falling. The hand of Jagon getting that elimination. Void now answering back as well as they clean up Vinheim. It's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a back and forth here, but Creative just trying to keep everybody else topped up, but they can't really get this cart moving because Void and Fleta are here, and they're fairly immovable right now. They don't have the damage output necessary to break through this position. They get a couple extra meters here. Widely, they just have to wait for everybody else to rejoin.
You need to wait for that bubble to come back online as well. Lip, by the way, owned towards a Widowmaker. Profit changing over towards the Hanzo. Beautiful headshot onto Profit. That'll give you the 5 versus 4. And the opportunity now, Flitter wants to walk forward.
Oh, it's such a rude awakening here. Lip making his presence felt absolutely as he gets those 2 quick kills, setting up for the elimination onto Smurf. And now with the time dwindling, Vinheim trying to ride up here along the ceiling will end up getting beamed down by Void. Profit trying to touch in towards the cart, but he just can't do it. Knew that he would have to give his life for it. That'll just be where the cart gets to. So 49.4 meters in towards point C. They cannot complete the map. Once more, Shanghai Dragons have a win condition in front of them on Hybrid.
It's the long-awaited Death Blossom. We waited an entire defense for just that. Flitter's first and only ultimate. We got there towards the end, and it ended up not even being necessary because Lip got the opening frag onto Profit anyway, and Shanghai Dragons pushed forward with the 5 versus 4 advantage. Just a lot of wasted opportunities, I feel, where Dragons absolutely could have held B, at least for longer, if not entirely. That one very critical fight where Seoul Dynasty push in with Smurf, Grav down. Dragons are late to the play, Flitter nowhere to be found, no Death Blossom on the payload for B, and they end up having to fight on C instead. So Seoul Dynasty outpacing the Shanghai Dragons by finding opportunities to push when Dragons are not ready, not prepared, and not in a position to do too much on Flitter either. But the defense still found at the end of the day. Seoul Dynasty, though, great progress.
Overall, not going to be feeling too bad about that, but they still need to have a strong defense, stop the Dragons from getting to that point, because obviously if they push a little bit past, that's just the map victory in their pocket, and that's a tied up 1-1. Dynasty want to avoid that. Would love to be walking away from Kings Row with a 2-0 lead. Lip for now on the Widowmaker, see if he can find anything early days. Because he's going to go for a little bit of a pop shot. Flex is already rolling, so yeah, Profit just making sure that nobody dies there, nobody takes some headshot damage. Keeps him protected, and now he's just going to swap back over to the Soldier 76 as anticipated.
You also saw, by the way, Fitz emoting around the corner there, just also spotting, checking to see if there was going to be any sniping available. Fitz has to be a little bit careful here. He's going to get helped out by Vinheim, who hoops Flitter away, so the protection does come on through from the main support. Flitter still wants to walk forward. You can just see from that top right area, yeah, kind of pushing Fitz away for now.
He's going to TP right back up into the window. Sees Fitz, sees Vinheim, and close quarters can get quite a bit of damage in, but notices that he is surrounded, so does pull away. Playing that one out as patiently as he can, but Creative manages to weave some shots in while Fleta had his back turned. Creative, however, going to pay the iron price as Izzyaki with a Bionade will get some revenge. And Izzyaki is surging towards that first nano right now. This death on the Creative really going to be punishing him in that regard as well, as Izzyaki just needs 15% more.
That's going to be the 5v4 now because it's taken a while. You can see through the silhouettes as well. Creative is trying his darndest. There's old grandma legs to come on back, but the positioning has been gained by the Shanghai Dragons, and the first nano claimed by Izzyaki as well.
Yep, first nano, first tick, going to be picked up here. See how the recontest looks from the side of the Dynasty. Lip taken low. Fleta trying to play this out secretly. Now the nano comes in. He's pushing up against Smurf. Damage output is looking massive. Nano going to be forced, though. Keep Smurf alive. Lee Jae-gon going to be taken out of the fight. That's going to be the healing gone from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Now Fleta eliminated. Profit in on top of Izzyaki. That's the rest of the healing eliminated right as Lee Jae-gon respawns. And that should be the fight victory here. But still, 2 ticks going to be snatched up from the side of the Shanghai Dragons with Void going on a bit of an extended reset. Some more time going to be bought here by the Dynasty. We'll see if they can continue to hold this point. 2 minutes about to be left in the clock.
That's clutch nano coming through from Creative as well. He didn't actually have it at the start of the play, but he had to earn it while Smurf was getting rolled by Fleta. But the fact that he managed to find a nano, keeping Smurf alive, pushing back into Fleta, getting that kill instead, does everything for the Seoul Dynasty that they require to hold on. Both teams have grabs available now. It is still Shanghai Dragons on the point. Fleta sleeping.
Yep, that's going to be a grab in response. Void just locking 2 in place. He says, yep, that's a golden opportunity. Throws it down, finds Profit and Vinheim, and that'll be the point taken now by the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Just nobody else able to contest. Smurf going to try to exit, but with that ante coming down, he is not going to be able to hold on to that energy. And even if he didn't get antied out, something tells me the damage would have been good enough. So everybody now from the Dragons going to be chasing forward while the cart will start moving up.
You can see that both teams were looking for the grab there as well, but Void got that one first onto Smurf. Running and targeting. Pretty much what you want to see Allows, despite Flitter sleeping there, they'll be able to win that fight regardless, and the cleanup is there as the Dragons keep pushing on through with the ultimates in hand. We are nearly on board for another double DPS ult opportunity. As I say that though, Seoul themselves got plenty to work with. They have to defend this bar area. Lip going for a big boy flank, and he's got to pull the trigger now.
That he is. Grab in with the blade. Flooding in popping the Death Blossom a little bit sooner this time on the attack. As Lip falling low, but has that biofield up for a little bit longer. Vinheim gets the elimination, but Fleta is there for the cleanup. Smurf, Robin, Vinheim for him. I think there was a fourth one beforehand. That's the team kill, and the cart is making an immaculate pace right now for the Dragons.
And the fact that, by the way, Lip, okay, he gets that one kill, dies, but he pulls attention away. That allows the rest of the Dragons, including Flitter, to walk on up. So you have this pincer play coming through from Dragons where Seoul Dynasty don't know where their focus is. Do we go for Lip? Are we trying to defend against Flitter? You're not really doing either properly. We're ending with possibly the final fight here for B. Prophet is over towards his own Reaper, but Lip has pulled the visor.
Oh, and he is just running in, finds Vinheim. Creative is so far disconnected from the rest of the fight, he cannot offer up a single scrap of healing to anyone on this roster right now. That is point B grab, and that is nearly 4 minutes in the time bank for the Dragons, and you can already see the red box of victory just there around the final corner. The Dynasty need to buckle in, and they need to put their feet down pretty soon here if they want to win this map. Otherwise, Dragons looking like they might tie it up.
And the difference has been on the B point, right? Because Shanghai Dragons had a much more successful B defense. Seoul Dynasty, for the most part, have gotten run over. Shanghai Dragons pushed them with so much momentum, so much snowball pressure. That has ended because we're on board for another grab. This Nano Visor for Fitz has to be everything for the Seoul Dynasty. If they can't win off that, they gotta lose.
Lee Jae-gon falling low. The grab comes in. Fitz fighting one with attack visor. Now Lee Jae-gon going to be eliminated as well. It's with those follow-up Felix rockets will get rid of Fleta, and yeah, that should be enough for them to finally hold steady. Get the cart in a stationary position, but it was so damn close, just what, 3.5 meters away roughly there. Yep. They still have 3 minutes to chew through if they want to win this.
Really have to wipe some sweat off the brow there for the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, that was it. If they don't win off that combo, nothing will work for them. Void tries his best to prop down the Graviton Surge, maybe get a kill into Fitz as well, who was looking like he might have been able to go down. Not quite though, gets just enough kills. Shanghai Dragons waiting for the next ring of ultimates to be available. Vinheim can defend this with a sound barrier with Smurf. Also coming up to grab. There's a few opportunities for Seoul Dynasty to drag this one out further and maybe force an OT down the line.
Well, there's the visor first, but even if he pops the sound barrier for that, there's still the Death Blossom imminently arriving from Fleta that will concern them. Visor going to be used, and you can see they're just pulling away. They're actually going to throw the grab down on Olympus and try to get the elimination, but Fleta, in the meantime, he's gotten to the back lines. He got rid of Vinheim. That's going to be the sound barrier out of the fight. Now Prophet and Smurf have both been eliminated. Creative dead as Lee Jae-gon dives into the back. The kills are there. Sound barrier nowhere to be seen. They tried to scatter, but the chase was great. Shanghai Dragons get the push, and they get the map win on their selection of King's Row.
Amazing pressure coming through from Fleta. You see him diving to the backline. Our POV was on Lip, but really it was Fleta going so deep onto Vinheim, forcing this Lucio in such an awkward position. Vinheim would love to go for the beat, but he doesn't want to Ajax. He's nowhere near the payload where he can help out Smurf. So poor Smurf just has to basically eat the entire visor along with Prophet, who can do nothing to really help out. Lip cleans him up. Fleta gets rid of the backline, then dances on the payload with his own Death Blossom. Not even required. A boostio to end things out with. Just a flex on the Seoul Dynasty as we end things 1-1.
Well, there we go. No match point lock in here for the side of the Dynasty. They will get an opportunity to make that happen, though, as Escort is going to be their selection. We'll see what they land on, where they think they can pilot themselves to victory the best. What gives them the best odds here? When we come back from the break with the Dragons looking like they are heated up. Fleta on the return. I mean, ults be damned. Man doesn't need a Death Blossom to find value. Continuing to look quite strong here for the squad. We'll see if he's going to still be in the lineup here when we come back from the break, as well as Void. Lots of questions surrounding the series, but all I know is we're tied up 1-1, and it's a damn exciting time. Don't go anywhere, guys. The action continues in just a bit. And welcome back. We are now 2 maps deep into this series. The Dragons able to tie things up 1-1 with a victory on King's Row. Now we turn our sights over to Watchpoint Gibraltar, the escort selection of the Seoul Dynasty, to see if it's going to be good enough for them to move up to match point. This map historically has been very, very good for the Dragons, Avril. Not so much yesterday, but historically, ignoring the recency, overall has been really, really good for them. Avril might be muted. That's okay. He's a silly boy.
All you missed out on was a bit of a quiet laugh there. I don't know, if maybe not.
Guffaw.
Well, it was quiet if you didn't hear me, but in any case, I was going to say, yeah, yesterday's Gibraltar, not what you want from the Dragons, and I think Seoul Dynasty in a position where they want to capitalize on that weakness. You know, they saw something there from the Dragons. Very sloppy play from the Dragons overall yesterday, but definitely on the Watchpoint Gibraltar map. And here we go, Seoul Dynasty are thinking, okay, if Fusion can do it, we can definitely do it there as well. A lot of ground to abuse. Also, you get Smurf back on the Winston. I think that's his preferred pick. Void staying in, though, is so weird. I don't think that... Is that right? For the Shanghai Dragons? No, it's Fate coming in, so you're going to be seeing Fate. We saw Void in the graphic there, but it is going to be Fate coming in. It would be too strange to have your off-tank player on this map. Smurf wants the Winston matchup versus Fate. Void would like the Zarya matchup versus Smurf, but you won't get that on Gibraltar.
No, certainly not. I think Smurf would also love to have a Winston matchup versus Void, but that is also not going to occur. It will just be the Winston v. Winston.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's not happening.
We'll just see the Winstons coming through. With Who Are You rejoining, in all likelihood going to be starting things off on the Genji. They are first to attack, so they have their time to go ahead and play around with some compositions and give people some false ideas of what the comp is going to look like.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So let's examine. Obviously sniping on the defense there. Briggs coming on through. And I'm doing a little bit of, you know, brainstorming in terms of why we're seeing so much Brig on this map. I think it just comes down to the fact that the long-range healing really helps you out for dive compositions. And this map, where there's a lot of high ground, low ground play.
5, 4,
Whip shot boot,
Yeah.
pretty decent in the Winston matchup there as well. But healing your Winston long range, healing Prophet on the Genji long range, all pretty good stuff there. Who Are You? Obviously will be coming through to match. Actually, Lee Jigon starting out on the Lucio there, so just Finn Dame as a Brig play for now. But no, I like Lee Jigon even swaps over towards that as we move on forward. It is an exact mirror Smurf versus Fate, Lip versus Fitz.
We saw some phenomenal shots from Lip at that desperate bid to swap to the Widowmaker at the end of their King's Row defense, and the shots that he connected very much did lead to them successfully holding the Dynasty in place. Fitz has his work cut out for them. Let's see if he can get it done.
Payload movement here. Seoul have mostly given up the high ground. They want to contest payload instead. That's going to allow the rest of the Shanghai Dragons, mostly including Fate over here, to contest. And Smurf has to back out, so waiting for Fitz to do the damage that will allow Smurf to go back up. Prof will also try to contest as well.
Oh, Lip is moving away from this, actually. He says, okay, you're playing quite far back. Everybody is not contesting the high ground here. You're playing very defensively. I'm going to swap over to the Tracer. I'm going to go in, become a part of this dive, and look to get the executions here onto the likes of Creative Vinham and Fitz. We'll see if he can pilot this to success, though. It's a stray shot. Whizzes right past his ear. Well, you did. Those new those new sounds coming into the game gives it a bit more weight once that shot goes whizzing by, but Fitz will find Who Are You. Now Fate going to get taken down as well. Looking like maybe he has exited successfully, though, so it doesn't have to be too concerned.
Speaking of feeling it, Who Are You?
He's duking it out.
That one. Yeah, okay. So, Lip going towards the Tracer. I mean, he's been on Tracer for 55% worth of Pulse Bomb now. Wasn't the best yesterday either. We saw him kind of whiff situations with the Blink. In fact, the same area. It was him versus Zest. He didn't quite get that health pack. I don't know if you remember, but this time around will survive. Being a bit of a menace in the back line. Infrasight is going to expose him, though, so that's not going to be good for Lip as Prophet goes for the chase. But gives up the chase.
Takes him low. Forces him from the mini pack over to the mega pack instead. So now Fitz rotating around the side. Would love to get the shot. I mean, Lip obviously knowing that he's being watched. Dashes across, and the shot not going to connect.
I don't think Lip knew. Lip didn't actually know. He was just kind of dancing, but thankfully he survived that one in his case.
Oh, in the meantime, though, Blade going to be pulled out. Now diving over into the server room. Prophet just helping to carve up some of Fate right there. Takes a little haunch off of him, and that's going to be the cleanup as Oh, Lip will finally get his target of Fitz, but he survives with a sliver of HP. Now they're on the hunt because they know they've got a little bit of a window of opportunity. Smurf has got to be careful. Oh, never mind. It is Lip who is floating too close to the sun. The heels are in position, and Smurf just goes, how about a hug?
I mean, that's one way to kill Lip. That is certainly one way to kill Lip. That's the kind of thing where, like, right, well, technically Lip did get a kill on the pulse bomb. Face did again, but he's still no primal. They just...
Lip's going to the window. And now it's going to be Fitz over to the soldier. Blade going to be pulled here by Azuri. Goes into the back line, deflects the sleep dart. Manages to find both the support. Stashes back up onto the high ground. Stays safe. And just like that, Shanghai Dragons might have been able to break open point A.
I'll tell you what, though, the fact that Lip actually dragged Smurf all the way back into the hangar allows the Shanghai Dragons to walk forward. I mean, the only tank in the game, but the only tank in the game for the Seoul Dynasty is not even defending the point itself or defending any area on A. That gives the Dragons something to use.
25 seconds remaining. There's the primal popped here from Smurf. The rally rolling as well. Vindheim just offering up that green HP over to Creative for now. Dive into the back. They spot him here in server room. Fitz as well getting involved. They want to try to get rid of Lip, alleviate the pressure that this Widowmaker can apply, but so far have not been able to acquire their target. Anti-nade will be the kill there onto Smurf. As the shots continue to fly out, now the Dynasty certainly have their work cut out for them. They've drained the clock down successfully, but can they get the hold? Would be a bit of a miracle as Lip is just sat here in the back, finds Vindheim right there in the head. The recall comes out, the cart inches forward, the cap will come through. Smurf now re-arriving on the Doomfist, which is not exactly what you want for this point. He's going to have to swap off of it. And, well, he's been given his opportunity as Izayaki will finish him off, and Lip gets Fitz for the team kill.
It's just a fast recontest, right? Seoul Dynasty are thinking maybe we can come back. Creative's nearly on towards a Nano. There's an opportunity where, let's say, Prophet still survives. With Nano Prophet, maybe gets a Blade. That's how you defend A, but it's just not going to happen. Shanghai Dragons will be able to cap on through. Lip goes on to the Widowmaker, like you sort of mentioned. Fitz no longer challenges, and we're just swapping who's playing Widowmaker, right? And this is the sort of situation that we wanted to see Lip in yesterday. Keep the Widowmaker 4B, snowball with the Widowmaker, prevent the Seoul Dynasty, or in that case the Philadelphia Fusion, from being able to reinforce into the hangar, and that will give the Dragons a lot of space to play with.
You know, Lip just patiently trying to wait out Creative, making his way into the hangar. And jump over the top there. Gets a little bit of a tag onto Vindheim. Not going to lead to an elimination. Just keeping sights on where the supports are playing at. Fitz now still staying on the Tracer. For a target with this Pulse Bomb, wants to at least invest this ult before he swaps back over to something like the Widowmaker. Who are you going to pull the blade? He is so damn low. 52 HP. Can he survive? The answer is going to be yes for one kill, but then he can't get anything else. Prophet will go ahead and make up for it. That's going to be a 2 for 2, though. And now a 3, as Prophet does hound down Lip in the end. The Dragon's going to have to reset.
I mean, Izayaki is kind of solo at the moment, but Seoul Dynasty giving him the respect. They're not going to go for the dive. Technically speaking, Izayaki was the only one there, so if Prophet and Smurf pulled the trigger on their shift buttons and just went for it, I'm pretty sure they could have staggered out Izayaki there as well. But now the Shanghai Dragons will have Izayaki still there as they regroup for 5. Who are you pulling Blade despite being low, not recommended, and it will be Prophet and Creative's turn for the Nano Blade next.
Let's see how that goes for them as they only have 35 seconds left to get rid of on the time bank. The Primal Rage obviously going to have a lot of survivability, but for the rest of the squad, it might not be so easy. Even with a Genji, even with that Primal Rage, trying to knock this Genji away from your support's going to be rather difficult.
No
Dive into the back, there's going to be the whip shot, does manage to push him away, keep him at arm's length. The Prophet still found a key target. Now Lip is going to be taken down as well. Headshot Shuriken flying through. 10 seconds now remaining as the kills continue to fly in. Fate already with the Primal expiring. Got to be focus fired as he drops back down with the bubble. The chase is there. He is zoned away. Prophet will scoop the kills, and that will be the hold just in front of point B.
It's a long ace, but we got the ace at the end there for Prophet as Who Are You on his own blade. Couldn't get it done. That was a very critical fight for Shanghai Dragons to lose. And for Seoul Dynasty to hold on to, all they need themselves is a Nano Blade with a push out both supports. You see him kill Creative first and foremost. But rather, Izayaki first and foremost. Lee Jae-gon then gets away, but it's fine because Lee Jae-gon can't help his team when he's all the way back in spawn, dies anyway. And the Shanghai Dragons with the other 3 players in no man's land, no support whatsoever. Fate's Primal running out. Not a lot to play for as the Shanghai Dragons inevitably will lose once Seoul Dynasty cuts off their supply chain of healing. And now, successful B defense. Seoul Dynasty wanted to come to Gibraltar for a reason. Again, they noticed a weak spot from Dragons last night. It didn't look like a good showing. It's a better showing from Dragons on Gibraltar today, but maybe still not good enough just yet. Seoul stop it in time to give themselves a great opportunity to win.
Take a look back here at Fitz getting this pulse stick off screen. He just charges down Lee Jae-gon, gives him a little bit of a parting gift. Who are you in the meantime? Pulling that blade, but had already been chunked out so much. You can see.
Yeah.
He's the kind of player who's got that he gets zoned in on things. The blinders kind of come up on the side of his face. Maybe
he expected
he says, hey,
Lee Jae-gon to heal him, but Lee
this is my
Jae-gon
moment.
obviously
I'm gonna
taken
go
up
for
by
the
the
blade.
pulse. Well, Izayaki put the nano onto him, so you either pull the blade or you waste the nano. So I think he was caught between a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately will get crushed by that pressure. Swapping sides now, both the Widowmakers coming back online. We begin our attacking defensive phase with a full mirror in composition, but will anybody change? I don't suspect that Lip will go towards the Tracer unless they're about to lose the 8 cap. And I have to suspect that Fitz will stay on towards the Widowmaker the entire way through, lest he go over towards the Soldier, because Tracer not exactly within Fitz's hero pool.
Yeah, Lee Jae-gon narrowly surviving there. Taken down low, is antied out for the moment as well, but does manage to get top back up by Izayaki. Just going to be trying to funnel as much healing to him as possible, get that nano up, and for now finds himself with a slight little lead. Nothing too much to speak of, though, as Creative's just 6% behind. A couple tags into the back there. Smurf not going to be getting too much damage here from Lip either. Sleep Dart connects on the Lee Jae-gon, not the most punishable position. It's nice little shield bash. Yeah, he takes himself away from the action, and with the overstep, that's Prophet and Fitz being eliminated. Who are you getting into the back lines, finding the Widowmaker, follows up for Smurf, and that's going to be an initial great hold here for the side of the Dragons.
I mean, Prophet and Smurf actually go out of the LOS of their own healers. They are so keen to get this kill into Lee Jae-gon, where, by the way, Creative also popped in a Bionet that landed, but because Lee Jae-gon wakes up, shield bashes away, the range is huge now in Overwatch 2. And it ends up being Smurf and Prophet overstepping into server where they get cut off by Fate. Brilliant trap by the Shanghai Dragons, recovering their support player.
Yep. Executed to perfection there. Go ahead and stay alive. And Izayaki, in the meantime, now has very much separated himself from Creative, so the nano is going to be online here at just 10%. Lee Jae-gon is going to be falling low. Smurf pops the Primal Rage, and he is not going to be woken up. Can anyone come to his rescue is sort of the question here. Will eventually be okay. Prophet going to be eliminated. Lip finding the body shot to get rid of the enemy. Genji now Creative out of the fight as well. The healing cut down, and there's no savior for Smurf. He ends up falling. The cleanup is there as it's an extended team kill. And now 2 minutes remaining. Half the time bank melted down.
And it's not just about the time either. I mean, look at the complete difference in ultimates coming online for the Shanghai Dragons compared to the Seoul Dynasty. Really, it's just Vindane keeping up with Lee Jae-gon. Smurf had already used a Primal, so, we'll give him that tick of approval, but unfortunately it is off the table. Lip gets another opening pick. This is preposterous. Seoul Dynasty just continually losing members to Lip.
They cannot afford to have this happen. He hasn't even bothered to pop the Empressite yet, still just holding on to it. I mean, it's a dink on a Fate, but, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything for you. Gets you a little bit closer to your own Empressite, I suppose. But Fate is just going to get healed up. Lee Jae-gon will gobble up that opportunity to go ahead and get the rally online. Dive now going in from Fate, contesting the cart there just at the top of the ramp. Shots coming across, Lip staying wary that Fitz could come jumping up over the top, gain line of sight at any given moment. We can see Fitz is actually playing quite far back. Lip has been forced for the time being.
5 ults.
Now pops the Empressite. Cart for now, inching forward. 58 seconds left to go. Ults are online. Prophet finds a crucial pickoff. Who are you going to be taking out of the fight? That's going to be the Blade. Now not there for the side of the Dragons. Prophet with his own. It's for that final swipe on the Lee Jae-gon. He will not get it, but it doesn't matter because Smurf is there for the alley-oop setup. They get the eliminations coming through. Lip zoned away. Nothing he can do. And the cart will glide forward. It's going to be a minute, or 2.5 minutes rather, added to the time bank here for the Dragons. They wish it was a minute and a half, but not quite to be. Sleep Dart will connect on a Prophet. He will die, but they get Izayaki at the same time.
Yeah, stagger onto both supports there. That's really disastrous for the Shanghai Dragons. And how about that passive play on A? They had 5 ultimates, Achilles, and they still pulled back. You see Lip all the way into the hangar phase. Part of the Shanghai Dragons' winning strategy on the A defense was that Lip's pressure with the Widowmaker was so high. And yet they were all just hanging out. Shanghai Dragons with 5 ultimates do nothing with it. They allowed themselves to get taken down, and Prophet wins with a nano blade. Embarrassing for the Shanghai Dragons as they'll now have to look for that same defense opportunity. 3 ultimates still in hand for this B hangar phase. The payload is actually nearly there as well.
Yeah, it's been free pushing the entire time because Fate is trying to pursue Fitz in the back line. He's been applying some pressure, denying line of sight, but yeah, they have to keep this contested from here on out. Who are you pulling the blade? We'll find one. Dashes up, looks to get the elimination here on the Vinham and will eventually be able to get it. Barely survives. Now looks for a little bit more. The dash through will take down Smurf. That's going to be time bought. Gets up into the base of Fitz, gets the kill, and Prophet just can't get there in time to keep his DPS cohort alive. 2 minutes, though, still with the cart just meters away.
Shanghai Dragons love to play within the finest of margins here, and listen, this is the kind of thing that will get them caught out eventually. Seoul Dynasty have the payload in an amazing position. They've evened out in ultimates. I mean, the situation for Seoul was so dire moments ago back on A, but after capping that, they've been steadily pushing forward. Double support kills, great staggers, straight back onto the payload, putting the pressure onto Who Are You.
Damage there on a Smurf, needs a bit of a bailout. Lip, I was going to say he is the X factor, as he often is, but needs to find value with this Widowmaker because he can't really rely on his ult for too much. Yeah, you get some scouting potential there. Primal's still going to be popped by Smurf despite the early death. He's looking for Izayaki, has him juggled into the corner, manages to get the elimination here at the very end. Now pushing everybody else away, but now the Primal will expire. He's down low, and he is dead. Who Are You gets the elimination. The rally rolling from Legion Gone, now going to expire. Vinheim using his own, but here comes Prophet with the blade. He gets a finish on the Who Are You. He gets Legion Gone. He's looking for Lip. Lip is so damn low, and Fate dives back in to try to contest, but the damage output comes through. The Dynasty in a hell of a messy fight. It was going either way there for quite some time. The Dynasty will manage to persevere and finally complete their push. That moves them now up 2-1 in this series. Match point behind them. Just one more to go for them to finally defeat the Shanghai Dragons after nearly 2 years. Can they get it done?
When push comes to shove, Achilles, Prophet will get it done. Pulls the blade twice, wants to get the cap onto A and wants to shut the door on B as well. Shanghai Dragons can do nothing but watch in sadness and despair. They are down now, as you mentioned, 1-2. They've been here before. They've still come back. They've still won. But Seoul are looking like the better team today. Better on Oasis. Unfortunately, not good enough on the Zarya battle between Smurf and Void on the King's Road. But once we get back onto the Winston for the Gibraltar map, a map pick from the Seoul Dynasty, Prophet comes out king. Despite the best efforts of Lip, Who Are You, and the rest for making great plays, I still have to question what Shanghai were doing on that 5 ultimate fight towards the end of A. That could have been such a better defense. But bygones be bygones here. Shanghai Dragons will have a lot to regret if they can't recover here. Seoul Dynasty in command.
Well, you said when push comes to shove. Push is going to be our next and potentially final map type. Dynasty need to get this win to close out the series and not be threatened with that Game 5 versus the Dragons where they have fallen so many times. Shanghai Dragons, though, need to get this victory. It looks like New Queen Street will be their selection. We can expect that's probably going to be Void, probably going to be Fleta coming back into the matchup for them. Can they win it yet again like they did on King's Row? We will find out in just a few minutes. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The end is nigh for the Shanghai Dragons. They need to win on this next map. Their selection of New Queen Street as we get ready to go into push if they want to take us to a fifth and final map. But if they can get that done, it's still going to be the map pick of the Seoul Dynasty. So they will have that in their up their sleeve. Wherever they decide to take us, they should have a slight little advantage in that regard. But we'll focus in here because the Dynasty are one map away. I feel like I've said this so many times. One map away from taking down the Shanghai Dragons at long last. Can they do it? Or can the Dragons continue to persevere, continue to be clutch, and take this all the way to 5?
And it's not just that. I mean, you are also looking at a grand finals appearance here for the Seoul Dynasty as well. I believe it would be their third ever finals appearance after May Melee 2020, as well as grand season playoffs grand finals for 2020 as well. A couple of substitutions coming in for the Shanghai Dragons, as you'd expect. We're going to a push map, which means Void and Flitter do come back in. The last map they were subbed in, they did win. And Flitter as well. Didn't even need to use a Death Blossom on either attack or defense to get that win. The Zarya Reaper certainly coming up trumps for the Shanghai Dragons, and they'll need to make that work again. We talk about the fact that Seoul Dynasty will be picking the final map if Dragons win this, but there is only Ilios and Lee Jung Tower left, and I think both are reasonably fine for the Dragons, so I don't know how much of advantage Seoul can really force in on that last map. Really, to me, they have to kind of win it here. They have to clean it up here. Smurf is going to be the big question for me. Is it going to be the Zarya? Is it going to be the Winston? Both extremely viable on this map. But if you do play Zarya, you are going back into the mirror versus Void. Not that Smurf wasn't that great in the Zarya mirror, but I think Void definitely edged them out, and the statistics would prove that as well.
Well, let's see if him and Fleta rejoining will help deliver a victory. I mean, we know exactly what to expect here as far as their comps are going to be concerned. Void's going to be going for the Zarya. Fleta coming back in to play the Reaper. He's become a bit of a specialist in that regard. Though we know that obviously his hero pool goes a bit deeper than that, but for now we'll just be sticking through with it. For Shanghai, or for the Dynasty rather.
I was going to say, it's almost ironic that the highest flexibility player in your team is also the Reaper specialist on the team. He's now responsible for the one hero that is the Reaper Man's coming on through Fitz on the Soldier, Prophet on the Tracer. Pretty standard stuff from the Seoul Dynasty, and we have confirmation it is going to be the full dive. Smurf, Winston, Prophet, Tracer, you know it, you love it. They've won it here before, but can they do it versus the Void Flitter combo with the Zarya and the Reaper dominating the North American region, this particular combination of heroes?
Well, Prophet playing around the back flank there for just a moment. You see the Dragons very much occupying the high ground, a position that they love to take early on this map. Prophet now just linking in below. Just going to keep the bot shifted over towards their side of the map, ever so slightly. But now will start moving up. They will start getting distance on this push. Prophet now moving up the high ground there, looking for the dive alongside Smurf. But yeah, the sleep dart is going to be great. Lee J gone. Helps get the elimination there. Smurf going to be the first one to fall here on New Queen Street. Now, there's so much damage. It looked like Fleta got that kill, but no, it was the Helix Rocket hit from Lip. Sending that one off of the flank, and Lip will be able to get another follow-up there onto Vindhame, and that is going to be a nice amount of space opened up here for the Dragons on this push.
And that is also a mid-air sleep from Izayaki. I heard the sleep dart go out while Smurf was still sailing through the air, so brilliant hit by Izayaki, who now leads also in the nano boost department. And that's exactly Seoul's, Dragon's gameplay. They need to punish Smurf. That has to be the Reaper's Zarya and a combination of the Ana as well, pummeling damage into Smurf's Winston to put him down. Prophet Pulse Bomb available, but low HP can't go for the play.
Pulse Bomb at the ready. Just waiting for his opportunity to be able to strike here as the bot gets closer and closer to the initial checkpoint. Pulse Bomb stick goes out, but hey, Void is here. He's got bubbles. Offers one up. They help save Izayaki, but Fitz will finish the job with the Helix rockets from across the way. Now has that tac visor ready to roll, but Lip is going to be using his first. Now, Pop to try to counter, but he just walks right into Flip, and he says, oh, thank you very much for that one. Sends the Helix rockets into his chest, and yeah, that is just blood and visor everywhere as Fitz just disappears. Bot going to be controlled now for the moment as the Shanghai Dragons do decide to pull back. They say, you know what, we've got a considerable amount of distance. We can go ahead, go for a little bit of a reset, give some space up.
The fact that Smurf is still shoving this payload backwards is pretty brilliant for the Seoul Dynasty. And they're kind of losing this fight anyway. Oh, they definitely will be soon as Prophet going down to Izayaki. 5v4 confirmed. Nano is still online for Izayaki, waiting to be used in this particular fight after Creative had already popped that in the previous. Nano Visor not looking up for Fitz and Creative.
Oh, and Creative not ready for this flank. Pleta not going to be able to overstay, though. That being said, Lip in the meantime, yet again, gets the better of Fitz. Now he's in on top of the Winston. Just cannot defend himself. Yeah, they just keep falling over one after the other. Prophet finally getting an elimination. Feels like maybe one of two that the Dynasty have been able to achieve so far. New Queen Street, and the bot will make it to the checkpoint. Boom.
Only Fleta and Izayaki have died so far for the Dragons. And we're going straight for the nano play. No visor required. Lip will just rail them down.
That he does. Gets the kill into Vinheim. Will be traded, though. They lose the take on. Could be both sound barriers now not able to be used in any extended skirmish, and some space has to be given up. But again, I mean, Shanghai Dragons are totally fine with this stage. They've got so much distance. This Prophet goes into the back. I don't know where he was quite going there. But does just go ahead, pop the recall, manages to stay alive.
We got more than 57.18 meters, which means we can't have that kind of weird draw scenario happening anymore. That hasn't technically happened, but has produced a visual bug, so we're past that. All of the ultimates basically online for almost both teams as we head into what is going to be a very critical fight around the 4-minute mark, but a massive lead so far for the Shanghai Dragons. Seoul Dynasty yet to get any progress.
Death Blossom into the back. It's going to clear the bot, but cannot get the elimination. Flooding out. Just going to have to Wraith walk out. Fitz spotting him. The sound barrier comes through from Lee Jigon to try to keep him alive, and it will work a treat at least for a little bit longer. Eventually, Fitz will manage to find his mark. Bot now going to start pushing for the very first time, by the way, for the side of the Seoul Dynasty with half of the time bank already drained down.
And that's with the sound barrier being used by Lee Jae-gon. They still lose that fight. Vinheim holds onto his sound barrier, doesn't choose to respond because they don't need it. Fitz a solo kill onto Fleta, who, by the way, a solo Death Blossom to Prophet. Wouldn't recommend that one again. Prophet simply blinks away, and Fleta can't find anybody. That was a little bit unusual coming through from Fleta. Not the best Death Blossoms today, and that's even when he chooses to actually use them. But as you say, first actual progress for the Seoul Dynasty, but how much longer can they push? Fitz needs some kills here.
Okay, a little bit of a back angle here from the side of Fitz. He needs to get some peel as Void starts getting in on top of him, and Vinheim comes to the rescue. Helps keep him alive, at least for a little bit longer, as he's now down to 16 HP, and they can't keep him sustained. Does manage to get traded. I mean, it's going to be a decent kill there for the side of Void, as Fitz has quite a bit of distance to go ahead and sprint back. Bot for now, just going to start pushing it again.
Creative is too far back. Vinheim has to go back and taxi probably multiple players. He actually hasn't gone at all. That means it's too late. You can see the Dragons are able to regroup together. They can stop this payload pushing. The checkpoint will not be found just because of those trades, specifically with the Creative going down. Seoul can't regroup in time, and Dragons will have positioning to regain payload control.
Grab at the ready. Sound barrier there to try to counteract it from Vinheim. This Prophet just continues to be the one pressuring the point. Izayaki going to be taken out of the fight. It's going to be the nano boost removed now. Likely a lot of distance bought here for the side of the Dynasty. Leap into the back, looking to just try to knock Void out of position. The grab was let loose, but it's not going to lock anybody in the position. Smurf just going to go ahead and leapfrog straight over the top of it. Gets the bot back under their control. It's a bit of a back and forth bout here with Prophet going down. He'll look to rejoin as quickly as he possibly can. The bot
sleeping.
Going to be locked into position here for now. Lip taking a nap, as you said. Was able to wake back up quite comfortably. No one able to get on top of the enemy soldier here. We will be able to survive and fight another day.
Seoul have plenty of ultimates, but they just need to have the regroup happening. I mean, somebody's always dead. Prophet went down previously. Pulse Bomb still available here. Sound Barrier to enter through with. At least Jigon's dead.
Yep, Smurf there as well, helps capitalize, gets the elimination, and Smurf will get the other kill on the Izayaki. He's gonna get a third as well. Why the hell not? Smurf is starting to really clap back. Team kill comes through, and this could be a moment for them to take a lead, but they have to wait out the bot here. He's gonna take his little break.
Yeah, and that's going to give time for the Shanghai Dragons to come on back in, whereas the Shanghai Dragons want to fight same positioning, but they want it in a position where they could actually get the checkpoint and then collect
0.6 meters.
an extra, half-ish kind of meter. It is imperative that the Shanghai Dragons prevent that from happening, and they have so far come into contest.
Pulse Bomb not going to connect. Prophet tries to go for the back line, flank there and catches Izayaki, but it goes wide. That is the Dynasty pulling away now from the point. The time
1 minute.
Space opened up here for the side of the Dragons, and as you say, there's just a minute remaining. Death Blossom, the Visor, it's all there for the side of the Dragons. The beat nearly to be the cherry on top. Visor for Visor, Lip pushing forward, but this time Fitz gets the better of him. Prophet gets his target. Izayaki going down now. Lee Jae gone falling as well. The Dynasty will be able to take a lead here.
And that could be it. That could be the entire series. When they take this lead and they won't have to wait for the checkpoint again, this is going to be the opportunity where within 30 seconds, Shanghai have to push the payload to the bot all the way back to the checkpoint of the Seoul Dynasty and then match the target anyway. However, Lip manages to touch. They prevented the flip.
They do, and now the barrier comes in from Lee Jae Gon, just shielding everybody up. The bot is going to be shipped back the opposite side. The Dynasty say, okay, we'll wait that shielding out. They do so. Death Blossom still there,
huge
however,
contest
from Fleta. We saw him holding a Blossom the last time they played on this map versus the Dynasty for so very long. Will he be able to use it proactively this time? He's TPing forward. He's looking for his moment. He gets it around the back. He pulls the trigger on it, and that's going to be creative. And now Fitz taken out of the fight. 3 members left versus 5 to try to survive, to try to push this back in the opposite direction. And it seems like somehow, some way, the Dragons might have managed to find a victory all the same. Overtime still going to be forced out. Smurf diving to the back. It's Lee Jae Gon. Izayaki is going to be eliminated. That is the supports now. Taken away from the side of the Dragons. Prophet gets the pulse out of the lip. He gives his life for the elimination. It's Void and Fleta versus the world. The sound barrier comes down. Void trying to stay alive, trying to get this grab up and ready to roll. He's just 5% away. Fleta has managed to retreat. He gets himself pulled back around the corner. Lip going to be rejoining the pulse bomb in his pocket, just about. The grab comes in. They're looking for Smurf. The nade comes down from Creative. The Nano is invested as well. They keep him topped up. It's 0.6 meters left to go. He can't get the body block now. The Nano's out. Izayaki comes back and Lip gets 2 with a pulse bomb. He might have just shut this down. They're looking for the miracle, but the Dragons say absolutely not. Not on our watch. They clean them up. And so very close, it becomes so very far away. The Shanghai Dragons, they tap back into that hive mind. They pull out the clutch card, and they manage to get this win. We're going to map 5.
And that clutch card is ever so available for the Shanghai Dragons. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and this time it's Seoul Dynasty that go out of this map. Shanghai Dragons secure it once again. It was looking so dire for them. Literally, 0.6 meters away. 0.6 away from the Seoul Dynasty taking control of the map. If they had just managed to push a little bit further, had Lip not gotten that miracle touch, it reminds me, shades of Icon Volder, Who Are You, 0.05 meter contest all over again. In a very similar situation, one very critical contest allows you to stop that payload from flipping over, and if it does flip over, it doesn't matter what Dragons does. Lip gets a double kill. They still have to push all the way back in Seoul Dynasty territory. Probably doesn't end up happening. We award the series to Seoul. They go to Grand Finals. So Shanghai Dragons, when we talk about clutch, that's what we mean right there.
Absolutely unbelievable. And I mean, you can see here, it looks like some of the members in the Dynasty just Smurf rubbing his eyes. He thought that this was done and dusted. He thought that they were going to be ready to sit back for a bit and get prepared for a grand finals versus the Fusion. Not yet, and maybe not at all. The Shanghai Dragons clap back. It is 2-2, and we have one more map to decide it all. The Dynasty's pick. They have elected to take us to Ilios for a last round of control. We'll see what happens there. You don't want to miss it. This has been an absolutely insane series, as was fated, as was anticipated. I love to see it, and I can't wait to see the conclusion of it, and I hope that you guys are right there alongside of us. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. One last map to decide it all. The Shanghai Dragons managed to persevere with their map pick of New Queen Street. They get the win by the slimmest of margins there on push. Now we go into control
0.6.
once more. Yeah, 0.6. I mean, it's just one of those things that if they end up losing the series, is going to end up haunting the Dynasty, but we'll see what happens. They have their pick. They've elected to take us to Ilios for this last round of control. The question is, as it always has been, can they close this out versus the Dragons? Can they finally beat them after nearly 2 years of being punished by this squad? Can they get the upper hand? Can they make their way into another grand final?
And as I said, it is a 6-match win streak for the Shanghai Dragons against the Seoul Dynasty. It's been a long time since Seoul were able to best the Dragons, and while Seoul bested them at the most critical of times all the way back in, when it was Dragons on their royal road towards, well, not quite a royal road, but a road towards a finals of the 2020 season. Seoul stopped them. Could the Dragons be doing the same to Seoul now on their way to a much fated finals that Dragons, or rather Dynasty, have been waiting for so long? And, New Queen Street certainly will be a map that you have to go back and watch again and really zoom in on, because as much as it hurts for Seoul, it's a brilliant play from the Shanghai Dragons. I went back and looked as well. There was certainly no opportunity. It's not like Seoul stopped pushing. It's not like Seoul forgot about the payload or the robot. Lip simply came in on the final second and contested. That's literally all it was. No one's to blame there. Lip outplayed them. Shanghai Dragons got the touch in time, and that's all it was. 0.05 on Icon Boulder, 0.6 on New Queen Street. It's these fine margins every time the Dragons use to perfection. And now we head to Ilios. The smart thing here is to not take the Dragons to Lijiang Tao. We know what happened last time. Seoul took Dragons there. Fate came out with the Rhine and won the map. This time, it might not be Fate, but it is still Void, and Void of Fleta undefeated versus Seoul in this series so far.
Yep. We'll stick through with the same roster. Not going to make any adjustments. Fleta just sticking with the Reaper. We'll see if the Dynasty can force him to play something a little bit different, perhaps, but seems like he is very much in his comfort zone right now, as we will open the gates for this 5th and final map. See a bit of a delay there
same
from Prophet.
Heroes on both ends. Yeah, you don't even have the Genji for Prophet this time around. No Echo shenanigans. I mean, one of the good things about playing Fleta on this map is that you can play the Echo. He is your Echo player. We're not going to go for it because the Zarya Reaper combo has been the game-winning combination for the Shanghai Dragons so far in this series. And, well, if Smurf's going to do it, he's going to have to match up against Void mano a mano again.
A dark step.
TP up onto the high ground there, wrapping around the backside of the windmill, looking for some damage. Okay, Prophet just taking so much before he can get that off. And
no bubble.
Yeah, he ends up dying. Yep, no bubble from Smurf. Just no way to keep him protected. No healing coming his way either. Prophet just on the aggressive TP gets cut down. Now Fitz going to be picked off as well for a little bit of additional stagger as the point gets locked in here for the Dragons. Pushing up right up close and personal here is Fleta. He's going to Wraith Walk to cleanse off the ante. And they will just retreat as a collective unit.
It's an outplay from Iziaki. So, I mean, Iziaki sleeps Smurf, so Smurf can't put the bubble into Prophet. So Prophet just walks into death. Usually, you would TP there, you'd be fine, but not that time. Not when Yazari sleeping on the ground. Well played by Iziaki once again. Is going to be leading the nano charge. Lip on low HP, but he survives. First point being capped. This is so different from Oasis. Remember, Oasis was 50% for Seoul. Now with Lip's Visor coming online, it should be 50% for the Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah, put quite a bit of damage there on a Smurf, and Flutter was ready as soon as the bubble dissipated to get the elimination. Follows up for another with Bits now falling. Void looking for the cleanup as Vinheim will be the last one to die. The extended team kill coming through, and that is the Dragons sitting pretty here, getting ready to achieve 50% on the point.
And no deaths for the Dragons so far. Completely deathless after, what, a fight and a half, maybe 2 fights in there. Plenty of final blows, 7 final blows, 2 of them onto the Lip, 3 of them onto Flatter. And not a single member down as the rest of the ultimates start to come online now for both teams. And Seoul Dynasty desperately waiting for this Nano Visor. Has to be the game-winning one. Lee Jigon should be able to counter.
Void taking a bit of damage. It's going to be a Nano on a Flatter. Get that Death Blossom ready to rock. He's pushing forward. And has the ult ready to go. Bionate does come down, so he'll only find 1 elimination, but still zones him back considerably. Sound Barrier going to be coming through in response to the grab. Void uses a grab of his own. Smurf going to be taking a nap. Still going to be a high energy Zarya, though, so they have to pay some respects. They start pulling back. The right click, the beam. It's enough to annihilate Izayaki. Now Lip has fallen. They get the sleep there, and yeah, that is going to be the cleanup here in the fight. A little bit of delay from Lee Jae gone, but not going to lead to too much of anything. Wraith walk forward. Flooded just trying to extend this as high as they possibly can, but the flip will eventually come through just shy of 99%. It's 95 locked in for the Dragons.
Insanely well played by Smurf. That he uses bubbles to block out most of the damage from Flatter, as well as just pumping damage to Flatter to prevent the Death Blossom from getting more. I mean, in that situation, you would assume that Flatter just gets a team wipe onto Seoul Dynasty. No, Smurf, he holds on strong, comes back 100 energy. It's Grav versus Grav, Sound Barrier versus Sound Barrier, and Smurf comes out on top. Humongous damage done in that last fight.
And it was. Anti out on the Flutter now, just trying to keep him at arm's length, stop him from getting in on top of the tank, on top of pretty much anybody. Let that Reaper get loose, and things are not going to go well for you. Prophet, in the meantime, also looking for a bit of an angle. It's quite low HP, so they're wrapping around as a unit towards the Dragons' side of the approach here, the point. We'll be able to get him topped up as Lip gets ready for his next visor. Other ults a little bit a ways away here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
For going in. Here we go. He wants to make this play happen. Death Blossom in hand this time as well, but just too low HP. To be honest with you, they don't mind waiting here. It's percentage that's taken up for the Seoul Dynasty. Visor versus Visor, but they can't quite find each other.
Yeah, everybody kind of peeling back, breaking sightlines. Lee Jae gets the top of Prophet, finds that elimination. Now Nano going to be used. It goes on to Smurf. Trying to build up some energy and rapidly is climbing in that regard. The grab at the ready has outpaced Void immensely in this metric, but they clear the point out now. I mean, Smurf, he's going to throw it, but it's a desperation. No. And that's it. Way too late. They're playing on such slim margins. Prophet re-arriving. Sure, he's got a Death Blossom, but he's not going to be able to find a damn thing with it off the back of that one little fight. That is going to be the round secured by the Shanghai Dragons. First blood is theirs. Can they get this 2-0? Can the Dynasty reply? Take it the distance all the way to 3 rounds of Ilios.
Seoul Dynasty, I mean, you look at Smurf there, he carries on Zarya one fight, but then the final fight, indecision, biting him and back, it just turns around 180s. Do I go for Flatter? Am I trying to grab Flatter? Do I maybe go for a grab onto Void? Ends up not deciding anywhere. The rest of Seoul Dynasty falling around him. Vinheim as well, tragically does not get a Sound Barrier. So close, but just couldn't quite meet the mark. And so unfortunately, ends up being a posthumous. Grab it on Surge, catches a bunch of Dragons, but no one alive for the Seoul Dynasty. Prophet, desperation, Death Blossom at the end, won't get anything done. Could be the final round now. Dragons want that revenge match versus the Philadelphia Fusion, waiting for them in that finals. Could be the final map here as well. Dragons leading the way. It is officially match point time.
It's a major change up here. Prophet looking like he was going to come out on the Echo to begin with. Shifts to the Tracer, and Fitz is going to be on the Ashe. No, swaps now over to the Soldier. Vinheim as well going to be matching with the Brigida. Now they make their way over to the point, but this is going to give the first grab up to the Shanghai Dragons. We'll see if Dynasty can contest them for it. As Prophet starts making his way up. We'll dive in, gets a little bit of damage there on a Fleta. The Diva is well here from Smurf.
Smurf could have opted for the Winston. Just to be clear about this, is what I will say about the D.Va is it does have a little bit more pressure against Flitter's Echo. We did talk about the fact that Flitter being in means the Echo can be seen. It doesn't just have to be the Reaper, but Smurf is so less practice on this hero compared to Void. I mean, this is Void's signature hero.
Yep, Nijig on finding the first elimination. Now Smurf going to be knocked out of the mech. He's looking for a target here to hit with the pistol. Try to get back into it. As he and Prophet just going to be jumped on. Smurf going to be the first one to fall. Fitz in the meantime got an elimination with the Izayaki, but that's about as good as it gets. The point now going to be locked in. As that does go through. Away.
The 8 as well.
I'm not sure about that. Since Prophet got a kill. I don't know. Could just be a little thing in the beta.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. Either way, he gets the elimination. He knocks Void out of the mech, and he gets the kill all the same. I'm thinking that's just going to be a beta bug. We'll call it.
Yeah, you know, one of those things. A classic beta bug. I don't know. Prophet, he'll get everything. He gets a pulse bomb kill, but apparently got Eden. Who knows? At the end of the day, it still counts as a kill, so maybe it didn't get Eden. But we are now evened up, 14% to 14. Thank Prophet for winning that fight, carrying the fight through despite the rest of the team falling by the wayside. Nano coming through for Izayaki. Creative looking for his as well, just a little bit further behind.
Oh, he's just right into Void's rear there. Trying to get that next pulse bomb up, and I mean, he's nearly got it. He's set over 80% now. I can't even keep up with him. He's building this so very rapidly. They maintain control of this point. Recall comes in, keeps himself safe. As it's a little bit scattered now for the rest of the side of the Dragons. Fitz going to be falling low, rotates out, holds on to the Nano. The Nano used onto him just so he could try to stay alive. Lip now charging forward with attack visor at the ready. We'll find Benhaim starts pumping damage into Smurf. Will break him out of the mech. The elimination will come through on the back end of that one with Prophet dying. That'll be the flip there for the Dragons. Back in control, but still have a ways to go to take the lead.
Yeah, you saw the damage difference there as well. The pressure onto Fitz. He instantly had to back out. He gets a Nano but can't visor. He's already on low HP. Surviving, looking for a health pack. Meanwhile, Lip is just shredding through the Seoul Dynasty, especially onto Smurf there as well. And there's just not enough Matrix to stop him. I mean, Matrix is decent versus the Soldier, but cannot outlast the Nano Visor, even with maximum Matrix on board. It's going to come down to Prophet. 10 HP remaining. That's an actual 140 Achilles, but Prophet still lives.
Yeah. That he does. Void going to be antied out for now. The rally rolling from Benhaim, trying to keep everybody alive. So far working a treat. Void going to be demeched. The self-destruct going to be popped. Baby D.Va seemingly safe. They cannot get the elimination before he gets back in. Yeah, Fitz popping the attack visor, looking for some targets, but D.Va goes right up into his face. The Bionade comes flying his way. Prophet in the meantime starting to go off. Finds Lee Jake on. They're looking for a little bit more though, because they still haven't gotten this flip back into their favor. He's trying to get the tracking down here on Izayaki. Eventually gets that elimination. Now turns his sights over to Void. Breaks him out of the mech. Prophet is going off. He is finding damn near everything in the kill feed right now for the side of the Dynasty. The flip will come through. 69% online for the side of the Dragons. The Dynasty should be able to overtake them here.
If there is a world where Seoul Dynasty drag this one over to Ruins, it is because of Prophet. He is currently deadlifting on this particular sub-map for the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, it really is Prophet. He's keeping them in the game. He's carrying the team. I'm not going to lie to you. If Seoul win this one, it's going to have to be Prophet play the match again. I know it's a meme. It's like Prophet play the match every single time. But what can you do when Prophet is this good?
Well, Void now opting out of the D.Va battle, says, okay, you know what, let me just go over to the Zarya and just be able to get those beams through that D Matrix, make sure that you cannot deny my damage. Flooded going to be making his exit, flies up over the top to keep himself safe. Lip, in the meantime, going to be nanoed up. Finds an initial kill as Benhaim will fall. We're approaching 99% here for the side of the Dynasty, but they're getting ready to lose control of the point. Prophet is going to be taken down. Flooded finds that kill. There's double DPS ults available for the Dragons to try to hold this point to its conclusion.
We are going to reach 99s here. It's going to be the OT to decide everything. Can the Seoul Dynasty drag us to a Ruins, a decider on the final map of this lower bracket grand final, or lower bracket final, I should say, or is it going to be the Dragons punching their ticket to the grand finals? And it is going to be a rematch versus the Fusion as well. Plenty of ultimates on both sides, but I dare say the Seoul Dynasty have a bit of an advantage. Just waiting for Vindame, 29% more to reach towards that rally. Later looking for a copy, doesn't want to go for it just yet.
Yeah, can be undone by this duplicate depending on who he decides to copy. Benhaim taking a bit of damage there. Does get back to full HP, and now we're in the double 99s. Attack visor going to be used. It's going to be a copy out onto the Tracer. Fleta has not really been able to play that so far this season, and so far he's not finding too much value. Needs to get the pulse bomb up. He now has it. Pops the recall. Is looking for the target. Stick comes in. He's gonna find Vinham. That's gonna be the rally out of the fight. Creative is gone as well. There's no supports available for the side of the Dynasty. The self-destruct comes in, breaks Flutter out of the mech. The Helix rockets kill him off, and Prophet in the meantime found 2 with the pulse bomb. He got Legion on. He got Void. He gets his Ayaki, and that is gonna be the point ticking down. They cannot get there in time with the swap to the Tracer, and the Dynasty will take us to ruins to decide it all.
And who's going to carry harder? Is it going to be Prophet? Can Flitter do it as well? The deadlift is in his namesake, but currently Prophet is the one lifting his team up. And Flitter tries his darndest. I mean, what an insane micro play there. He gets the stick, kills Vendame, and by the way, uses the invulnerability frames from swapping between the Tracer back to his Echo form to eat the self-destruct damage from Smurf, get the kill into the Baby Diva, but still it is not enough. Now take a look at Prophet's POV again in the final moments. Boom. Stick over onto Void. Double kill to Lee Jagon. Flitter gets Smurf down, but at the end of the day, Playoffs Prophet has certainly arrived. It's been here the whole season, but you damn near believe it's leveled up once again.
Look at this comp coming through. Smurf going to be going back over to the Reinhardt here. Prophet onto the Mei. They are looking to brawl this out to victory. We'll see if they can get it done. It's not been the most successful for them. See how they fare now in this map 5 third sub-map scenario on Ilios. Sleep connects onto Void. They want to get the charge off on him. They cannot get the pin. It's actually a little bit of a hairline sleep onto Smurf as well as he quickly gets woken up, interrupting the charge. For now, Dynasty occupying the point, looking to get the first cap. Contest not going to be able to come through in time. Flutter now dropping down into the point. Wraithwalk going to be burned. There's the wall, but it does not cut off his retreat. He manages to make it out to safety. Prophet going to be falling low, goes into the ice block. Izayaki taken down first and foremost as Smurf finds the kill. He'll get a follow-up. The fire strike through. Takes out Flutter. Prophet, however, does get picked in the end. Smurf is low on HP, so he's got to pull back.
Fight's still not quite over just yet. You will say that Seoul Dynasty had the advantage. They had the cap as well in Achilles. The script writers, they're not messing around today. How thematic would it be if the Seoul Dynasty in this exact same stage on map 5 win with the Rhine when it was the Rhine that beat them last time when Fate played it on Control Center? Now Smurf wants to take charge, hammer in hand. 35% and counting. Fits nearly on that visor. Way ahead of Lip.
That he is. Izayaki going to be taking a nap for now, but it's so far off the point, it looks like no one can get to him. A little bit of a Helix rocket wake up for him, but no kill to be found for the side of the Dynasty. Lip looking for a target, but they'll just cut off his line of sight, force him back over onto the walkway here on top of the point. Now it's going to be the Nano Visor out from Fitz, charging forward behind the shield of Smurf, and it's looking great for the side of the Dynasty. The damn near Tim Wipe comes through as Lip is the last one standing, and they will eventually get on top of him. They confirm the kill. Vendame picking up 2 in the fight. 64% now for the Dynasty. Have they done it?
It's huge, and they haven't done it quite just yet. They have to survive against the barrage of ultimates available for the Shanghai Dragons. However, the sound barriers will be the make or break. Vendame and Lee Jagon both have him. Prophet as well with the Blizzard. So once Shanghai Dragons want to get aggressive, you want to grab here, you're going to end up eating a Blizzard in response. Now, the good news between Void and Smurf here for Void is that in this matchup, you can get bigger grabs. However, you see that Smurf is currently isolated. He's not playing with anyone except Prophet, so it can only be a 2-man grab, and actually, it's a huge amount of kills.
It's catastrophic. He's going to drop the hammer. He's looking for the stun. I think that one went a little bit wide. Lip now popping the attack visor. Will find Vinham. That takes the beat out of the fight. He's playing a ring around the rosy here with the creative. Now the wall coming through as well, just trying to keep protected. Lip, however, starting to gun them down, but no one can make it in time. They occupy his attention. Lee Jagon cannot arrive, and after so very long, damn near 2 years, the Dynasty will be able to best the Dragons when it matters the most here for a championship spot in a grand final. You can see right there, Prophet, everybody collecting around this man. He got them through that second round of Lighthouse. He got them to the final round of Ruins, and from there, it was a collective effort to get the victory. So hard fought, so very long since they've been able to taste a victory as sweet as this. But the monkey is off their shoulders. The weight has been lifted, but they don't have too much time to rest, Avril. This win must feel so fantastic, but they have a grand finals to prepare for.
I mean, it means so much as well. You can just see the emotions coming up through because this is how much it means to the Seoul Dynasty. It's taken them so long to beat this team, and the hardest oppositions to come back from. Lighthouse was looking over. Lighthouse almost should not have been a Seoul Dynasty wins, but this man on your camera, one of the greatest players of all time, in my mind, the
greatest player of all time.
I'm sorry to the Super fans. I'm sorry to the Smurf fans. Prophet's my GOAT. He was one of the best players before the Overwatch League. Still one of the best players in the Overwatch League. 5 years later, in his 5th season, still one of the top players, and dare I say, one of the front runners for MVP this year as well. Never been a role star. The most robbed player of all time is Prophet. And of course, he can only be the player of the game. I don't care.
Yeah.
Prophet gets player of the
Production
game
hasn't
every
even
game.
told us.
He deserves it. I don't care. He deserves it.
We were talking about this all the way back around Gibraltar, and it's like, yeah, I think we have to give it to Prophet. He's just kind of performing the best, and then we get to these last few maps, especially Ilios, and it's just, good lord, the numbers that he was able to put up. But even from the first map, coming out of the Genji, just diffing everybody in the lobby, he was the one who helped kick things off, put the right foot forward for the Dynasty. It got tripped up a little bit in the middle, but by the end, I mean, good God, it's just the Prophet show.
The only player from the Apex era that is still at this level. I mean, we talked about this as well. Previously, we could have said that Birdring was there as well. Rascal at this stage is retired. Who are you?
We can give
He's
Fleta
still
some
playing
credit
at a
in that
super
regard.
high level. Yeah, but the thing is, Fleta wasn't. He was playing at a high level, but I guess his team kind of let him down during the Apex era, whereas Prophet was the literal champion, right? The final champion of Apex in Season 4. Apex Premier
At a high level
champion
in
as
Apex,
well.
yes, that's not Fleta.
Yeah, Jisoo Busan, and it's just like, in terms of staying at that level, having those accolades come through all that time to still in Season 5 of the Overwatch League be not just a good player, but legitimately one of the best players currently in the Overwatch League this long into his career. Simply unmatched. That's why he's my GOAT. It's simply unmatched. So, Seoul Dynasty, if there's a way for them to get to the finals, it's from Prophet. It's off the back of this guy. Jump in his backpack. Get on this horse. He's going to take you home.
I mean, look, no matter which way you slice it, I think that seeing what it meant to him in particular, as well as the team overall, even if you are a Shanghai fan, I think that you can feel happy for him, because you could tell how much weight was lifted from his shoulders. This burden that he has bared for nearly 2 years of not being able to get a victory over the Shanghai Dragons, not since that 2020 lower bracket final. It just incredible performance from him, from the Dynasty overall. But this was a hard-fought battle, Avril. This was an incredible best of 5, going the distance all the way into that 5th map, into the last round of Ilios to decide it all. But they finally were able to put their foot down and tell the Dragons, no, not this time. We need this one. But they're not done yet, as mentioned. No. They still have their work cut out for them. Before we even really get into the topic that is a best of 7 grand finals that is just about 30 or so odd minutes away from them, you know, the Fusion have been sitting back watching this play, maybe sweating a bit as they see the form the Prophet's in, but they have the advantage of preparation. Now the burden is on Seoul Dynasty once more to see if they can excel. We've got a lot to talk about, though, so we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to take a breather, and then myself and Avril will come back. We'll chat about this incredible best of 5 series a little bit more, and then we'll get ready to go in that grand final.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.